Now, Samurai 8, created by Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, actually has came out, and I'm gonna have to say that this is actually a very awesome manga series to read, in which I actually going to review chapter 1 right now. Which in the beginning we actually see the galaxy where they actually say we samurais are in charge of protecting the entire galaxy, and it's their duty, and they're actually continuing to stop that person from doing is actually their job, in which is their sworn duty, but which they actually told this person that they must search for the Pandora box, a box that actually was sealed in the past by the god of war, and the in which the great master so I mean Asigla, in which in order to save the stars of the galaxy he must find 7 keys to open that box, and it's their sworn duty to actually search for the 7 keys, in which he entrusted one samurai to actually search for the 7 keys, in which he's actually looking to find the 7 keys, in which this person is actually headed over to where the 7 keys are actually is hiding. And that's began the search for the 7 keys, in which we actually seen where the God of War Asaka is actually had actually hidden the keys, which we actually headed over to a next scene where we actually see 2 samurais where their beast partners are actually going to the battle, in which the man actually told him that he's actually dealing with his Komusubi class holder, which actually was ease. And a technique like that is actually meant is something from a Naruto book, which we actually seen this other person is going to battle this samurai, in which their beast partners are actually transferring their bodies and transforming them into their armors, in which they actually draw out their swords and they actually let out inside of their bodies their energy which created their samurai blades, and they actually fight to to the battle, in which they actually draw their swords around the same time. This person actually defeated the samurai, in which we actually see this samurai actually slay the warrior, and which he actually told him to hand over the first key, in which he actually asked this warrior, in which what what do you seek to possess the power, in which he actually can tell him that, but he actually is going to save the galaxy, which he's going to find one of the 7 keys to open the Pandora box, in which we're actually seeing the we see that his body is actually transformed into a samurai robotic body, which that actually is the theme of this manga series, in which we knew that he's actually is going to overcome overcome the great master Asala trials, in which we seen how he actually opened his body and actually actually created a new item in which we seen how he actually was created, in which the remaining 6 keys are still out there, in which we seen another scene, which is actually a virtual reality game that the our protagonist Hachimaru is playing the game, in which he actually is injured himself, and have he actually have made his IV drip, which his father actually came to repair him, in which he actually has a robotic implants on his body, which he actually have a robotic left arm and left leg, in which he actually is a cyborg, in which he actually have created a pet for himself, in which he actually have made a pet that actually named actually told his pet to bring him a cane, but he actually brought a katana instead, which he actually have got which his father actually got him a cane for him, in which he actually have cords actually inside of his body, in which we seen how he was actually afraid of sharp items, in which he actually was told that a warrior is the one who protects the stars and its princess, in which he actually told him that he must be big and brave and must defeat invaders, in which the opposite of how he actually is like that, in which we actually knew that we actually is how he actually is afraid of needles, and he actually hate pain, and he actually told him that he hates his father, in which he actually have actually said that he wanted to go outside, but he can't because of the wires on his body. Which that actually said that if he actually wasn't have a body, that he would die if he spends 3 minutes disconnected to the machine, in which his father has built that machine, which is a mobile life support device, in which he actually can go outside, in which he actually told his father how many years that'll take, in which he actually is going out for a little while, which we see that Hachimaru is actually have a displeased of that, which we actually see his father actually reminded of how he actually was like that. In which we actually see on another scene where we see the boss actually told his henchmen to actually that he'll get the money next time, but which he actually told him to forget the money, and he actually had to earn his trust a different way, in which he actually walked up to a rock and he actually pulled out a knife, and he actually had him to commit seppuku with the knife, as he is forced to kill himself because he actually won't actually do it. But the boss actually had to do it himself because he was actually won't do it already. In which we actually seen of how Hashimaru actually ran outside, and he actually saw a mysterious rock, which is actually a daruma, a wishing isle, in which we seen of how we seen of a rock that this boss actually have, in which the rock have actually has transformed, and we actually see Hachimaru's father actually came out, and he actually said that he bought the 200 million yens, and he actually say to hand over as he promised, in which he actually is locked up into a locker ball, which that is actually the item of it. And then we see Hashimaru painted one of the eyes of the Daruma, and he actually is praying for good luck as he praying for to becoming a powerful warrior, and he wish he could fly into space like the like Azala of the shooting star, in which he also prayed for his father to come home safely, in which the Daruma is talking, in which he actually came out of the cloak, which is actually his real body, and he told his pet Hayaturu, which is actually his pet, to attack him, but he actually won't. But then we actually see Hashimaru's father have actually had the key, which the boss have actually have seen it, in which we actually knew. They told him that a warrior and samurai mixed up, in which warriors are were humans and their samurais are not, in which he actually is going to get the key, in which he opened up his cyborg body, and he actually show a hologram of the spinal cord looking thing is their key, in which the memory unit is actually served as their base, in which a part of the fact that they actually have their body parts cybernetic, there actually are small stars created was left by the god of war, which is called locker balls, in which one who actually merged with these can actually obtain the bodies, in which they cannot actually die even if it cuts, in which they can actually have the power to walk in space. And that being said, they actually harbor a special soul within their bodies, which actually shows that actually meant they're actually going to find someone who also have that special soul, in which we actually head back over to the house where Hachimaru and Daruma is having tea and trying to discuss how he actually became in there, which we actually knew that he actually have a robot body because he's actually revealed to be a samurai, in which we actually knew that a cat samurai is actually cool, but he was actually is blind, and so he actually told Hayataru to get the cane, in which he brought a katana again, which he actually has is alright because he actually pulling out the sword, which he's about to cut someone, and then he actually pull out a small toothpick and point it at Hashimaru, as we actually seen him telling him that the fact that which is more important is always hidden out of sight, and which concealed behind a wall of deception, samurais see not with their eyes but with their hearts, in which he actually told him that their true nature becomes hidden just like himself, in which he actually say that if he wished to become a samurai, that he actually must prepare to die, in which Hachimaru wanted to become one, as he told Daruma to teach him the ways of the samurai, in which he actually told him not to call him master without his permission, in which he actually say that he actually going to teach him how to become a samurai, but it became difficult of how he actually become one, because he actually have a phobia of pain, sharp items, and needles, which that actually explains it, in which he actually showed him a knife, but he actually told Daruma that he actually connected to his life support system, in which he's almost in the brink of death since he was born, in which he actually built, in which his father actually built that device, which he actually knew that he actually cannot be free unless he actually is connected to the mobile version of the life support device, in which we actually see Daruma told Hachimaru that he actually has the potential of becoming a samurai, in which he actually is not suited for the task, and he told him to give it up, in which he actually is going to become a samurai, in which he actually is prepared to die, which he picked up a knife, but he's actually too afraid to commit seppuku, in which he actually won't do it. But we see Hachimaru's father actually has a key, which the key of the Kuma na Makani was actually the seal of the soul of a samurai, in which the boss actually told him that the key led to the greatest, the legendary katana that he actually searching for is called the the Doji Kiri Takasuna, also known as the Vampire Blade, in which he's actually going to find it, as we've seen Hachimaru's father actually try to escape, and we've seen him trying to take him where he actually is live, as we seen his pet actually transform and actually headed over to his house, where we actually see Hachimaru actually trying to show Daruma that he's not afraid, in which we've seen his hand actually picked up a katana, in which we've seen Daruma actually trying to defend Hachimaru with this katana, as the boss actually came, in which we actually see Hachimaru use Twirlwind on the boss, in which the technique that he actually used, as we see him actually battle the boss, we see that he actually looking for the soul that was actually somewhere, in which Hachimaru actually saw his father being tied up, in which the boss actually had told Hachimaru that he won't move or his father will die, which we seen the henchman launch an arrow on Daruma, in which we seen the boss actually looking at Hachimaru's pet, and he actually attacked Hayaturu and actually broke him in half, in which he's about to go after the boss, in which he actually cannot do it because of the life support system on his back, in which we see him have the key, in which the soul for the vampire blade is actually inside of Hachimaru himself, And we've seen the boss unlocks the key, as we've seen the boss trying to get the soul out of him. We see Hashimaru's father trying to stop him, at which we actually seen the code that will require to get the soul, in which the boss have told Hashimaru to stop his heart with the blade to commit seppuku, in which he actually has no other choice because he doesn't want his father to die, in which he actually is going to do it, in which the two actually have share backflashes of their time to spend with each other, as they all have actually broke down in tears as they realizing their love for one another, as we see Hachimaru has pierced the blade into his chest, and he actually took the soul out, at which the vampire blade is actually his. And we seen the crimson red blade inside of his handle, in which we actually seen the boss destroy his life support system. And we actually seen one of the larger balls actually have reemerge, and they actually emerged to Hashimaru's body, and he actually has transformed into a robotic samurai as well, as we've seen the energy that actually flowed through his body, and we've seen him actually stand up without a cane, and none of the cords are on his back, in which we see Daruma actually say that he actually received blessing from the god of war, and he gained the power of the Shiren Chi Mishin, and we as it actually meant the three chakra bodies, which means that he's become a samurai as himself, as we've seen Hashimaru actually going to bring his partner back. Hayaturu actually came back as a fully body creature, as we've seen him using a katana getting ready to save his father, as which we actually seen Hashimaru and the boss actually battle, in which the boss has transformed into his armor, while Hashimaru actually using his katana to slash the boss, in which we actually seen his katana actually gonna attack him, in which we seen Hashimaru actually using the blade, and he actually going to cut down the boss, which the two have actually have exchanging blows, but we've seen the boss actually been defeated by the trainer's training sword, which is actually a cane that his father was created by him, in which that the boss was defeated, in which he actually is actually have his body remade to Hashimaru, in which he actually revealed that it is his true self, and he can go on forth on his own, in which he is going to be with his father, at which we see Daruma actually say that, Master, it took me 8 tries, but it seems that I finally found him, the true key known as Hashimaru, as we seen Hashimaru save his father. And through his dots he say, through my righteousness has been beaten, battered, and tired. It turns out that the 8 times the charm, as the saying goes. We actually seen him saying 6 keys remain. It looks like we have a long journey ahead of us, but with him it might not be so bad at all, as we're gonna see more of that very soon. Now, I really love the Samurai 8. It actually has robotic samurais and samurais who can transform into cyborgs, and that have our protagonist Hachimaru, and we've seen him becoming a robotic samurai himself, which we're going to see more of that in more chapters very soon on the second chapter next week. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Guy joining here saying sign out. Laters!